test a little technology out that we're going to be using when we go hybrid toward the end. That's cool. Okay. That seems to be okay. All right, let's go ahead and get started here now with our orientation. I'll share the slides again. I'll do that again now. Here we go. This is orientation for the May 7th SAT. Ask questions as we go. I'll give a chance for questions at the end, but even during, you can just ask me any questions you think you need to ask. That would be very good for you. I think you'll have a good sense, students, the two I have here, of how this works by seeing this prep. First of all, let's talk about the test site status. And I did a pretty good job last meeting of covering this. I'm gonna try to do a really good job here again, and not rush, because it's counterintuitive what I'm going to tell you. And I'm going to explain why I'm having to mention it. So let's start with this. Due to the continuing LA County response to COVID, yep, because of the teachers unions and the state employees union, SEIU, the schools are not open on the weekends in LA County. Does everybody understand that? That's kind of important. That means that I can't promise you that a test site in LA County will be available. I'd hope by now I could tell you it was. I called some of the schools. We don't know. We think so. Hey, if you think so, I don't. Because what's happened the last few SATs is they've advertised they're going to have a site, and the week before they cancel. Sometimes 2 days before. And now you've done all that prep, you have nowhere to go take it. So I highly want you to check out this bullet. Due to LA County continuing response to COVID, even though everybody knows Omicron is just a cold right now. That the secret's out of the bag now. That's why the masks come on, not because we're tired of them. They're coming off because Omicron ain't nothing. Somebody said the next variant could be worse. The history of respiratory illnesses has been, viruses has never been that they get worse. They move up the respiratory tract, but I'm not here to do COVID. So the sites in LAUSD, Compton, Inglewood, Long Beach, and Pasadena. Oh, I can't believe I put were open. They were not open. Okay, so I would not trust, like if you got a site that's near your house, that's here in LA, like Westchester or Dorsey, I would wait another. I think we're going to be in this situation. And the reason why I know is, you remember LA County was the last, LAUSD and Compton, I think Inglewood, were the last districts to take off their masks. That tells you a lot about kind of where they are. They just took them off last week. So I don't see, and I hear the custodians are still wearing their masks. So I don't think they're ready to open up on weekends. It doesn't feel that way. Don't take a chance. Therefore, there's many more available each week, but not consistently in these above areas. So there's a lot of sites outside of LA County that are opening up. It's amazing. I'm gonna help you with where you can go. I'm gonna give you some ideas, okay? Please register for the May 7th SAT in Simi Valley, South Orange County, Riverside County, or San Diego County. Also, Los Alamitos High has done something crazy. It was in the newspaper, local paper there. They have opened up 3,000 seats for the SAT. A lot of people from LA went down there. It's not too far, but notice it's not in LAUSD. All right, Sister Gloria, go ahead.
So what if we've already registered? Can we change our site?
Absolutely, I have a video on that. I have a video showing you how to change, because it's not, they don't make it easy to understand. So I actually have a video on it, and I'll if you remind me at the end, I'll put the link in the chat. Even though I don't have help, I bet I can quickly get. And by the way, you want to subscribe to my video channel. There's a lot of good stuff there. There's a lot of great videos there about the SAT. And I think I'm going to have her segregate those under a playlist so they're easier to get to. So I'll show you how to change if you already have it in LA County. Now, please contact your test site often prior to the prep to confirm they'll be open. So even though you get it further away, I would just check in a couple weeks before it, make sure. Man, if you try in LA County, you need to call in every day and beg them to tell you clearly whether they're open, and then you got to check on. I wouldn't do anything in LA County right now. I'd wait. Maybe perhaps by August, it'll be different. We go into the new school year. All right. Tell anybody you know that too. If you have any friends, make sure they know what I said about that. A lot of people are disappointed. Yes, I've been complaining to LAUSD and the Long Beach School District and the Long Beach School Board, but they act like I'm a crazy deacon. So I've had no effect on them. All right. Any questions on that? That's kind of important. Now we get into what sites we can get. First of all, there's Junipero Serra High School. That's not Serra High School in Gardena, because they won't take you and they're not even a test site. Usually private schools only take their students. This is the one in San Diego, if you want to go down and have a staycation. So here's 2 San Diegos and a Santa Barbara that you can go down the night before and you can get settled there and take the test. That's one possibility. There's other possibilities. You can get creative when you get the pattern of this, okay? There's a certain pattern we have going here with these. Okay, let me add my controls here.
Where is the Santa Barbara one?
In Santa Barbara. Look at the very bottom.
I can't see
Very
it.
bottom of the slide. Now I'll make this slide presentation available to you after the meeting. I'll send you the link to it. Look at the very bottom. You see it. It's there. So you'll see it.
Okay.
I'm providing ideas here. That's the purpose of these view graphs. Here's Centennial High in Corona. That's a pretty big test site, I heard too. There's Pacific High School in San Bernardino. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. These are far out. Oh man, it's so far out. I know. I'm just trying to get it so they really take the SAT. And remember, it was worse than that. Back in late 2020, people were flying over to Nevada and Phoenix. So those states been open since late 2020. Every state didn't lock down like California. Then you got JW North High School in Riverside. You're getting the pattern, you're kind of getting it. There's probably other schools too, but I'm giving you these ideas. Okay, any questions on that? That's pretty important. Even though I covered it in orientation last time, I had 2 people out of the 10 say they didn't hear it, and they said they did my prep and didn't get to take the test. It was canceled. I feel so bad when that happens. We got them ready and they didn't take it. So you want to definitely address that. Let's look at the college responses to these SAT cancellations in LA and throughout California at some point. A lot of them, the state was locked down. So there's a certain reaction that colleges had to it. You know some of this stuff, but I'm going to tell you anyway. UC and CSU no longer require the SAT. They won't require it for class of 2023. That's a typo. It should say 23. They won't require it ever again. So with that, my new view, I did a video on that recently. You might have seen it, where I talked about the good and the bad of them dropping it. I think it's actually bad news for most of my students. If you're wondering what I mean, again, it's a video I recently produced. It's one of the last 5 or 10 I did when you go to the video channel. We'll give you the link to the channel later on. Many private colleges in the West cannot require the SAT. So they're not required either. I said they cannot. I said it because the UCs and CSUs take a lot of air up, don't they? So if they don't require it, then the private schools can. There's some exceptions. USC and I think Occidental are test optional. And test optional means test required. I don't know if you figured that out yet. Which is why you're here taking it, because test optional doesn't mean anything. Many private colleges are test optional. The SAT could help students in that case, just like I just said. Other schools are already no test in the state. Some schools just say, okay, we're just going to give up. We're going no test. You go to www.fairtest.org and see a great list of schools that have dropped by state that have dropped the SAT. Totally. They're not even optional. No tests. There's a bunch that are optional. I've talked about that. Any questions on this view graph? All right. Who should take the SAT? Then, I mean, who should take it, right? Students with a GPA of 3.0 or above and applying to schools that are test optional. However, beware of affordability issues on GPAs up to 3.8. You're going to have affordability issues. But that's a different issue than whether you should take the test.
What does that mean?
It means that you may get in, it's going to cost you a lot of money. I can explain further if you want. So a lot of people think getting in is the goal, and getting in is a admission goal, but getting enrolled is really an affordable school. And that means different things for different families. I spent a lot of time on that in my sessions. In the upcoming 2023 session, no doubt I'll spend time on it again. Say if you're 3.4 or 3.5 and you get into USC, you're really not going to get any money. And USC is $80,000 a year. So I feel like you have to get a high SAT score to get money. Black schools are like that too. They'll say that if you go to their web pages, hey, you can apply to us without the SAT. If you get admitted, though, we base scholarships on both the SAT and the GPA. So you might get a black school that's just not affordable, even though you get into the black school. So I hope I gave enough examples of why I have that bullet, why it says beware of affordability issues. But this is not an affordability meeting. This is an SAT meeting. Yes, Sister Gloria.
So when you talk about this affordability, if they don't take the test and they go based on their GPA that might be above a 3.8, then they're not eligible for financial aid or scholarship?
I'll take the scholarship question first. The
Okay.
financial aid was a little more nuanced. The answer is it depends on the school. They're all different. But lately, I've seen most of them require, that's why you're taking the SAT, to have a shot at scholarships. There's some that'll go ahead and give you some money without it, but those are the ones that were dropping the test before the pandemic and the Floyd stuff that went on, the Floyd murder. That's what drove people dropping the test. Now, take a school like GW, for example. They claim, and I believe them because I know, because I read applications for GW. I read this past year. They determine the merit awards from GPA, the student profile, and the writing. They're very confident they can do it, and they do it. They base it all on GPA. Certain public universities in the West will base it all on GPA. So schools that go no test have figured that out. But the schools that are test optional will let you know, hey, we need that SAT to decide on the money. That's why you're taking SAT prep. Not so much for admissibility, but also affordability. I know this is not an affordability meeting, but it comes up. A lot of things come up when you talk about the SAT. So I'd have to know more about the college list, but I bet you're going to have schools that are only going to award merit based on that SAT and the GPA. They'll let kids in, but then merit award, you're going to need money. So on the question about financial aid, that's more nuanced. That depends on your income. When families make more than 70,000 or so, most private schools think you can afford to pay for it. I don't agree with that. I'm just reporting the news. I don't agree, just reporting the news. So you're going to get only merit awards from those schools if your family income is relatively high to the colleges. 200,000 ain't nothing in California, though. I'm here to tell you that, friends. Sister Gloria?
So yeah, I was just getting ready to make that comment. You know, they can't, like, depending on where you live, is it just an average of a national income level or something?
Oh no, not an average. It's financial aid policy. So first of all, let's talk about federal aid. These don't sound relevant, but they're very relevant questions. Look, we're talking about the SAT and should people take it? So it's a relevant question. I will take it. It's a good one. And I'll do it in a quick, efficient way. First of all, the question is, will the feds give any money? Well, the feds pretty much feel if you make above 40,000 or so, you're not going to get any federal grant aid. So that takes care of the feds. So the only thing left is state. Well, the Cal Grant, there is a Cal Grant you could get up to 70,000, but above 70, I think it's 73,000 now. But above 73, there's no Cal grant, no grant available. So usually state and federal are out for for a lot of my demographic. Okay, now that leaves private schools. Private schools are all over the ball yard, but it's going to be merit money. You probably wouldn't qualify for a university grant at those schools. It's going to be merit. And I have a video where I talk about the 1/3 rule. Typically, 1/3 is going to be student merit, 1/3 is going to be parents, and 1/3 will be the university. But the university is kind of funny because that's scholarships based on merit. So anything left, the parents pick up, and that varies. It can be from $20,000 to $50,000, depending on the school and how much it costs, right? So it's fair to say that it's not really some national average. It's each school deciding with their financial aid policy what they're going to do. Now, there are a lot of private schools that give good money, but they're not typically the schools that students think of right away, or their parents want to look at. But the Stanfords and the USCs, they all seem like they're in collusion on what they're going to cost. I bet they are. Last administration was suing them, but this one's not suing them, so they go back to normal. I don't know if I answered it. I think I tried.
You did. So I guess where you live, because the state of California and, having the cost
you
of
know
living
what California
so
private schools?
much. I'm just talking about, even outside of California, just, even
Well, I
outside
think the
of
financial
California.
aid policies and the way the FAFSA is calculated is the same in every state. Now, the question is, do the private schools in California, are they tougher for money than any other private schools? They're all about the same across the country, the way they look at this. They're all in that 20 to 60 framework, depending on the cost of the school.
Right.
You can figure about 1/3 of the cost of the school you'll probably pay. 1/3 rule is really works. That's if the student has a high GPA, he always does. So I figure you should be planning on 1/3 of the cost. That's typical.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're in collusion.
Yeah.
I definitely believe they are. The last administration was suing them over that. But when this administration came in, if it was anything by the other guy, they stopped it. And everything he was doing, they stopped, of course. There was that kind of feeling in the country then. All right, Sister Gloria, is that kind of get there?
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. What I said has a lot of implications on what national policy should be, but I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm definitely gonna do that after I retire, though. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay. In fact, I have an affordability conference in Lakewood coming up April 23rd. I'll tell you all about it later, where I talk about these things. Okay, Sister Nichelle.
Deacon Wilson, what if, I'm not trying to get off topic, but it's really important.
There's no off topic, no such thing.
Because currently you say that it's based on your income. So currently I am unemployed. So when Michaela files for her FAFSA,
2021.
Yeah, because she graduates next year.
Based on 2021.
It's based on 2021.
And so what happens is you go ahead, you get your financial aid award, and you try to get a special circumstance. Better hope you're around somebody like me that can help you with it.
I hope so.
That would be a special circumstance. They count on you not knowing how to do that.
That is just so wrong.
But guess what? I know how. I don't think I'm going nowhere before fall of 2023.
I hope not.
Sister Kimberly told me I couldn't quit last year.
Oh, okay. Well,
Kimberly Green, she's in here now. She told me I couldn't quit.
Okay, you can't quit.
Don't
then.
quit.
I can't quit.
Don't quit. We need you.
Yeah, see, she said, I got one more. You can't quit.
Exactly.
One more.
That's
So all these issues can be resolved. That's called a special circumstance, Sister Nichelle, and I'm very aware of your situation.
Okay.
I won't blast it out here, but I'm aware of it.
Okay.
I prayed for it. That's why I know about it. I prayed about it when I heard about it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's continue on. Oh, and down here I say, Any lower GPA should take the SAT, again, if you're willing to take the high debt. Some people say, well, they want to take it if their students are below 3.0. And I just say that it might get you into somewhere that now you got to pay for it because you don't have a high GPA, according to this bullet here. All right, I hope that's clear. I think that's a pretty clear bullet. I like that one. It's very important. All right, okay, let's look at the SAT training plan. If you look online, that's the current training plan. Let me get these meeting controls out of the way. I don't know how it keeps coming up. So we're not going to have a session on Sunday, but you're going to have a practice test. We're going to bring to you to Friday. Bailey's going to deliver Friday. One of my staffers is going to deliver, unless you're too far away, we're going to FedEx it. I haven't looked at all y'all yet. I think everybody's around LA though. She's going to deliver the book and the answer sheets and a test booklet. The test booklet and answer sheets, the practice test book, will be in a brown envelope. It's going to have a seal. It's going to say, don't open me until Sunday, April 3rd. Of course, they could open it anyway, but I thought that was cool. They should open it up on April 3rd, and we'll show you how on the computer, when they set up their Prince Review site, and we're going to talk about how to do that in a minute. You'll see where we will send you directions to click on a computer proctored SAT. The computer will prompt you and tell you, oh, you have 8 more minutes. You have 5 more minutes. They can do the SAT. Fill out the, when I get the answer sheets from you, we'll recollect those answer sheets, okay? And we'll get them scored. We'll have those scores come back. And at the end, I can have something compared to when I'm doing my practice stuff with them at the end to get an idea how they are going in. I'm gonna do some like group time tests at the end. I won't do another test, but I want to get that entry data going in. Okay, so we'll do that you will do that on sometime on Sunday. You could do it early Monday, but most students have school Monday. Bailey's probably going to pick those up, in the afternoon or evening on Monday. She'll call you and coordinate it. We don't want you to have to bring it anywhere, bring it to the church and all that. We try to make it easy for you. We'll look to your email for further information on that. We may have you mail it. We may actually have you mail it directly to our Princeton Review agent. We may do that, but we'll have information on that. We'll decide the next day or so. On the third session, I call it, because the second one was really blocked out. But look, the third session, fourth session, for convenience, I provided the topics that in the book. However, you'll find out if you go to the book, it really needs a teacher. So that brings us to a subject that I'll cover later. Attendance is going to be very important. Don't interpret by the sheet. They can just go. It's not really a syllabus. This is not a syllabus because it doesn't really tell you, like, you need a teacher the way the book is set up. It's a special manual. You can't buy it in the store. It's made for the teacher to use to teach the SAT. They need a clean manual for this prep. They're all our sessions, 2 o'clock to 3:30 on the 9th and the 10th. And then the 13th, which is Wednesday, we make up that session we missed. Remember, we missed the Sunday session. On Saturday, the 23rd, you might say, well, whoa, look at that jump. Easter is on the 16th and 17th. We're going to give them homework to do, some practice problems to do, but we won't meet those 10. I really appreciate it to do those problems. I'll be begging them leading up to that. I think it'll be helpful for them to do them, and we'll go over the problems. I want to have a dialogue with them during those 10 days. If they send me the answers, I'll email them back. We'll have a dialogue. There's enough of them that are really serious. I'll do a quick Zoom and go over them, but we won't have a session on the 13th to the 23rd because Easter is the 16th and 17th. Saturday the 23rd, we have a session. Then we go to the next page, the 30th. Oops, well, did you make a typo there? I think I did. Yeah, Saturday the 23rd, we have a session. But then Sunday, is that right? That's not right, is it? That's not right. It should be Sunday. It should be Sunday. Oh, that's not right. Oh, yeah, right. That's right. What's missing, I think, is Sunday the 24th. Oh, so I'm going to reissue this. I think Sunday the 24th is missing. I'm looking at this. I can see where we could use that session. So we might be, I'll redo the schedule. I missed the 24th. So Saturday and Sunday that weekend we have it. Then Saturday and Sunday the 30th and the 1st of May. And then Thursday the 5th is the final session. I really will be probably, if I get that extra session, I'll use this for more practice testing. And that's how the prep is going to go. Sorry about that miss in the 4th. I can't believe I did that. It's a rookie error. So Christina, I'll correct that.
Got it.
All right. Any questions? That's our schedule. So clearly the students are going to will be tied up on the weekends, but they get a weekend off for Easter. Sister Gloria, did you have your hand up? Was that from before? I guess not. Okay. Okay. Let's get some general SAT prep information here. Be sure to register your youth tonight, if you can, or very soon, because it seems like, where are we now? March 30th? I'll bet you we're within 3 days of the deadline for registering. Then there's a late fee. So I hope you'll register or change your location. You can change your location after the deadline. The location change, if you change before the deadline, is free. If you change after the deadline, there's a fee for changing. So you want to change it before the deadline. And I'll direct you to a video for that. Like, I'll just send you the link to it afterwards, along with a link to this presentation. Now, remember, the SAT itself is not a part of your fee for the prep. So registering is a separate process. Register as soon as possible. We cannot reteach any missed sections. Can't do that. I will do some asynchronous videos to augment what I do. The students can optionally look at them. They might hit a week where I have one, they might not. I sometimes will show extra, be doing certain things over and over again so they can see a technique over and over. I'll email those directly to the students because I'll know their email addresses. I'll ask them. Please be on time for the sessions and fully attentive with the cameras on for students. Now, actually what happens, I mean your camera available. I want your camera to be working because when students answer me, you'll see in the Princeton Review classroom, when they answer me, their camera activates so they can click it on, answer me, then they can click it back off. So when they're talking to me, I'm interacting with the students. They're going to have it on, they're going to speak. When they come in the first day, we're going to practice. It's very important that I can interact with the students and take advantage of that classroom. It's really good. It has a polling feature, sound effects. It's a new version now that I'm scared to use. I'm gonna practice with that, but the old version is good too if I don't get around to it. There's no cell phone, please, no texting, no music. That'd be fully attentive. I do a good job of grabbing their attention. I'm pretty animated. I like what I do. I don't think I'll have any competition, but we hope there's not. Please respond to the questions that when I come to you, I'll call you. That's the Princeton Review model. We call on the students, we get them engaged and involved. That's how you raise scores on this SAT. It's the most unusual test they've ever taken, and engagement is how we raise the scores. Things to remember about the course, what youth get out of it depends on their attendance. I hope they can attend regularly. If they're missing a lot of sessions, I won't be able to get the scores up as well. The practice tests and analyses, homework and in-class work are all very essential. We don't assign a lot of homework, very little. There is going to be a little more for this group because of that gap, the 10-day gap. I'm going to assign a practice test to be done, like an actual section from one of the recent SATs. And in that case, that is homework, I suppose. But I don't give any more than 1 or 2 or 3 problems, if any, because I think that I want to see them in the session, working the problems and asking me questions. That's where it really is done. Please be sure to return after my break, students. There'll be 5 to 10 minutes each. We have no tolerance for inattentiveness or interruptions. We usually don't have a trouble. Oh, let me talk about that. Parents, you want to make sure they have a quiet place because they're going to be coming on mic and on. They're not just sitting there learning. I'm interacting with them. So I need to have it quiet around them, not a lot of family and noise. Last time I had a student, the football game was in the next room. It was super distracting. I couldn't connect with that. It helps me to connect when it's really quiet. That's really important. I never really mentioned that before until now. And so really think about where they're going to. One family had their student go to a relative's house to do the prep because they realized it wouldn't be quiet one of the times. It needs to be really quiet when they're working on the SAT sessions with me and Jasiri and Sierra, whoever's there. We learned a lot from our summer bridge program and our last virtual classes we've had. We've learned a lot, and we have got a lot great knowledge of distance learning during the pandemic and now. We need to treat it like a classroom. Mention the cameras, microphone needs to work. So make sure they have a laptop and ask them that they have a laptop with a camera that works. They won't be on cam the whole time. That bothers them. Let do whatever you need to do earlier before the session. It's in the afternoon to look like you want to look when you jump on camera. But I need to be able to connect with students to get these scores up. Now, later in the prep, I'm praying and hoping we're getting the room ready where students will be able to do the hybrid where I could be doing the SAT and they're sitting in the room with me. We're working on that with security to get the church open. We'll let you know about that. But right now, we'll start off in the Prince Review classroom. Back on time for breaks, engage. I said that. Follow all site registration procedures. And we'll talk about that in just a second with Christina. So Christina, after I cover this chart, I'll turn it over to you, okay?
That's fine.
Okay. The more selective and exclusive the school, this is what I was talking about a minute ago. The higher the GPA and SAT scores must be to admit or admit affordably. That's even true if it's test optional. That's what they don't tell you. They would go no test if it didn't matter at all, don't you think? As you know, when you go to that website, there's a lot of schools that have gone no test. But the ones that are still test optional, and by the way, it was in the news today that 2 selective private colleges have reinstalled the SAT requirement because they said it was blocking them from finding great minority candidates. If you want an explanation of why that's true, I have a video on that I'd already done. And I can't believe that MIT came back and said that. And also Harvey Mudd University said it. They're bringing back the SAT as a full requirement, not optional. And there's rumors about other schools going to bring it back now. They'll be all private schools. It won't be our CSU or UCs for sure. Okay, so this is really a true bullet. Each youth should make sure they have a government or school ID now before the May 7th SAT. Good time to check on that, parents. Make sure they have that ID so they can get a duplicate from the school in time for the test. They'll have to have their pass and ID to take the SAT. The pass has their picture on it and the ID does. The idea is the site can look at both before they take the SAT. Parents and guardians, let us know about any learning challenges or IEP your student has as soon as possible. Hey, that's not going to, we have a very good model that covers that, our training model. I'm only saying that to make sure you get the proper guidance on the test assistance the student can get because of that IEP. You have to move 60 days before the test. So obviously we can't affect this one, but when they take it again in the fall, they could have those things in place. I can show you how to work with your counselor to get that. Okay. This is a 504 IEP. Just let us know. What supplies the students need for the class? Several wood pencils, no lead or graphic pencils, please. And no pens. I can't enforce that because we're not in person, but you want to use the pencils you're going to use on the test. It's just like baseball players always use the bats they'll use in the game. They use them in practice. I think you should use the wood pencils. Get about 4 wood pencils, keep them sharp. Those are going to be the pencils you're going to take to the test and you're going to do the prep with before you take the test. No graphic pencils. They won't let you do it the morning of the test. And that disturbs some students when they find that out. They don't want you fidgeting with the lead, losing the lead, and now you can't take it. You want to use wood pencils. I hope everybody uses those in the prep too. I remind the students, but I'm not there, so I can't obviously enforce it. No pens, all that kind of stuff. You can't use it on the real test. So let's practice with the same things we should use in the class that we should use in the test. Hand sharpener, a calculator with basic, very basic trig and exponential functions. You don't need a programmable or some highly expensive calculator. Probably something right from Walmart or Target. Target is Target, or somewhere like that. It's going to be, CVS. This is going to be more than adequate to take the SAT and to take my class. SAT score review. There are two major scores on the SAT. I think I finally got this right. Math and verbal, like we did in the old days, parents. So there's 800 on each. Perfect score, quote, would be a 1600. By the way, it may surprise you to know that you could have a 1600 and have some questions wrong. So perfect score doesn't mean every question right. I just thought you might want to know that. You can get an 800 on verbal with 2 or 3 questions wrong, and on math with up to 4, depending on where they're wrong, right? We have evidence-based reading and evidence-based writing and language that are added together to make the verbal score. Evidence-based reading is because the answers are in the text. We'll definitely be talking about that in the prep. And evidence-based writing, same thing, but it's basically grammar. It's a grammar test. I'll just say it that way. Very basic grammar rules. Okay. The maximum score is 800 on each. So if you show up to the SAT and you can fog up a mirror, you get 200 points. If you just sit there and read a book, you get 200 points. But again, the score is on the sliding scale up to 800, the way it's scored. The minimum score is 200, not 0. The minimum score on the SAT is 400. 200 on math, 200 on verbal. All scoring is based on the number of questions which are correct. So obviously we're going to teach the students to not leave anything blank, any multiple choice questions blank, because you don't lose points when you have a wrong answer. It's a matter of how many points you get on the test. Okay. All right. Just a few last things. Here's the structure and length of the sections on the test. And these sections are arranged in order that you'll take them on the test. Evidence-based reading, 52 questions, 65 minutes. Writing and language is section 2. It's 44 questions and only 35 minutes. We're going to show you how to do like 80% of the writing questions in about 15 seconds. We'll show you a great technique to do that. Just Siri will be in for that. The math is section 3, no calculator. 20 questions, 25 minutes. With the calculator, 38 questions in 55 minutes. You'll notice this first section is over an hour, the evidence-based reading. So that's where they hit you with that first. That's why I want you to get a lot of sleep the night before this test. We'll talk about that later. There's going to be break time in between these sections that totals up to 40 minutes. Some sites can do as low as 20 minutes though, but in the worst case, you'll be in the test 3 hours and 40 minutes. If you decide to take the writing section, which by the way, right now, I checked the other day, only 4 schools in the country are reading the writing test now. Oh no, I should have told you. The SAT people have eliminated the writing test. There's no more writing test. No more essay, I should say. There's no more essay. It's gone. I predicted that. We stopped prepping for that over a year ago. Before the pandemic, we stopped. The schools were just dropping that test anyway. All right. Here's some housekeeping issues. Please pay all your remaining fees because we're paying the bill for Princeton Review tomorrow. I have to pay the bill or authorize the church to pay it, and they'll pay it quick. They don't even have bills. We're going to be doing that tomorrow to make sure that we're straight with them before we start the prep. So please, we'd appreciate you paying any remaining fees. We're delivering books and test materials this Friday. I mentioned that already. So you gave us your address when you came in. In fact, there's an email out from one of my staffers, I think Bailey, asking you to confirm your address. Please answer her back. She's the one handling it, and she's all gassed up and ready to go. Or she will be gassed up anyway. We will communicate by text. If you're not home, shoot us delivered to your mailbox or on the porch or something like that, okay? Just you all can work that out. We will communicate by text and email during the prep. Please read our emails. It's very important. Parents, I'll be telling you how the prep's going, updating you. Recommendation, please use a Gmail email address with us. It's very helpful. And then you can just add us to your address book. And you can also get flash communications by text text, email from us. If you have a Gmail, a little easier the way we're set up. But no matter what you are, we'll communicate with you. Have all your cell numbers and got everything we need, okay? And you communicate with me as well during the prep if you have any questions or concerns. All right, that's all I officially have. Christina, you want to go ahead and talk about what's going to happen next?
Yes. So, good evening, parents. So many of you guys might be wondering, how is your student going to be connecting with Deacon Wilson and the rest of our staff to attend our online courses? So just to make it clear, we do not use Zoom. We're not using
Say that
Zoom.
again.
We do not use Zoom for our live classes.
Say it one
Zoom
more
is
time.
only
Hey,
used.
Christina, say
Yes,
it one more
Deacon.
time.
Zoom is not being used for our live classes. It's not.
Okay.
We only use Zoom for emergencies, meaning if our Princeton review site system is not working or the internet or something's going on, we will email the parents and let you know that there has been a change. If not, your student will be logging in to the Princeton Review website. Don't worry, I'll be emailing the parents all these instructions. So kind of just giving you an overview. So you'll receive an email from me by no later than tomorrow evening. It'll give you instructions about how to set up your account. Basically, you'll be logging into the Princeton Review website. Your account has already been activated. All the parents need to do is go into the Princeton Review website, click on login, and then click on forgot password. Your username will be your parents' email address that you used on the registration form. That
It's like
is
a
the
username,
students.
right?
Yeah, that's the username. You'll click on forgot password. A reset link will be sent to your email. Some parents have always said that that email goes to their spam, so always check there as well, please. You'll follow the steps on how to reset your password, and then you will be officially in the site. Please let your students know your email, because that will be their username, and let them know the password that you created. Or if you could create the password with your students, it's even better, so parents and students have access to that site. From there, you'll just follow instructions on how to finish setting up your account. Basically, you'll ask personal questions, personal college goals. Then after that, you'll be officially in the classroom. On the day of the first session, which will be Saturday, 15 minutes prior to the start time to our class, you'll see on the website a launch button, which will take you directly to our live session, virtual session. I know it sounds like a lot. It's not too complicated.
No.
Again, I'll email you all these instructions via email no later than tomorrow evening. And of course, if you have any questions, I'll put my number here in the chat. Feel free to text me. That would be the fastest way to reach me, or call me. And of course, you guys have Bailey's email. Is Bailey on our meeting?
They'll have Bailey's email address. She's a delivery person.
Yeah, so of course, everyone has Bailey email. I'll add it to my email that I sent out to. So you have two contacts. You can either reach out to me, Bailey, and of course, Deacon Wilson, and we'll be able to help you with the process. If you're struggling, I can set up a Zoom meeting and we can go ahead and get that all cleared up. Besides that, the steps are quite straightforward and simple, but again, feel free to text me if you have any other questions.
Yeah,
Sorry.
very good. I'll take any, I saw your questions, Sister Hobson. We've gotten too far down the road, so she should take the prep and we'll do review later. She'll miss those sessions. We just do review. I didn't even look to see which ones are. I think we're missing a weekend. I didn't know she was going on a tour this early.
She's gonna be back in town on the 22nd. I was just thinking in terms of any work that was gonna be
Just gonna
due.
miss those sessions. There's no grade here. You know, she'll know the assignments, but I don't think she'll be able to do them if she's going on the tour. I think she's going on.
Okay.
It's just gonna do that, and that's the way it's gonna go.
Okay.
Because at this point, I've already gotten you a seat. And
Yeah,
church has already paid. We're paying for it. You know,
And
yours
no,
is
that's no
one of the early
problem.
ones.
I wasn't thinking, I really wasn't thinking. Had I known, I wasn't thinking. I apologize, but
All
it's
right.
fine.
So she should just go ahead and do what she can do. Try not to miss any other ones. Yes, it will slightly affect the first time she takes it, but then the second time she'll have review. She'll have a review before she takes the second. She's going to take, most people here are probably going to take it again in the fall,
Okay.
especially if she's trying to do HBCU. You need, high score to get money or she can't afford it. I'm starting to be more straightforward these days.
Well, we also attended a Zoom thing online with College Board, and they had the HBCUs, and I'm glad you're being honest because they made it seem like it's so easy to get in and
Getting in.
that there's
I know your
and
daughter's pregnant. She gonna get, spoiler alert, she'll get in. I'm talking about money.
I
I'm
need
gonna be
more
very
than
clear to
that.
all the parents here.
I
I'm
need
talking
more
about
than
money.
just getting in. I need to have the money piece. That's the piece that I'm gonna need.
I'm telling you, or you just have no retirement. Hey, I often quote that line, and if you ever see the Dark Knight Batman movie, there's a scene where the Joker says, I'm nobody. I'm like a dog running after a car. When I catch it, I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's kind of like getting into a school you can't pay for.
Oh wow. Okay.
Catch it, but what you gonna do with it? But look, again, fortunate for you, or maybe unfortunate, I don't know. You have me. So whenever we have our college meeting, do we have ours yet?
No, not yet.
We do. When you're not looking, I'm gonna sneak my alternative schools on your list.
I know you are.
Sister Kimberly, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, Deacon, I mean, that was disappointing, when we went through the college process with Giselle and she got in a few of, favorite HBCUs and we couldn't even consider it. Couldn't even consider it in the end. Once we looked at the packages, it was just like, we couldn't. So my question is are there any out there that are actually pretty affordable?
So you didn't ask, you're one of my best, but you're a 2%er. 2%ers ask really good questions.
Was this a dumb
But
question?
sometimes you put one little word in there and make it even better. I thought you were going to say, are there any alternatives that my daughter will like?
That's
I have to say to that, I don't know
That's
enough
true.
about her yet.
That's true.
I will. Sounds like I might get to learn about her.
Yeah.
If you're my essay, there's two things if I do for your youth, I know all about them. I see you, Sister Gloria. I go to you in a minute. If you take my SAT class, I get to know you really well. I can do a recommendation for a scholarship because I get to know students really well in there.
Yeah.
Also, if I help them with the essays, boy, I know all about it. I can really help them. But I get to know your daughter one way or another.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, Christina, this is version 2. Christina didn't hear me. She off doing something for me.
Oh, really? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
remember
I keep
the first
forgetting
one.
that mute button always throws me off.
Yeah, we had the first one. Was her older daughter.
Who's the first one? Do I know
What's her
her or
name?
him?
Giselle? You mean
Giselle. You should remember Giselle. Christina's doing the
Oh,
family.
yeah, I do.
Yeah. You and her are connected.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Definitely, I remember.
So I will answer, but I won't slip that question. I'm gonna come back to it in a funny way in a minute, Sister Kimberly.
Okay.
I love the challenge. So I'm gonna go to Sister Gloria first.
Okay.
So you mentioned having college meetings. Do you have individual college meetings with the family or their group sessions?
The way you put that question, yes. So the first step is to have a free college readiness session with me where we sit down and help you with your career, with the students with their career in college. We all have a discussion about it. We come out of it with a wonderful college list, and we'll make a proposal to help you coming out of that meeting. And I did an email about that just recently. I don't know if you saw it. Again, Christina, could you write down for me to take care of Sister Gloria and give her the start package? I just did an email about it with what the college readiness review and that kind of stuff.
Deacon, there's something tomorrow. Is that something different?
So tomorrow, what's tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow is class of 2022.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if I accidentally sent it to you or not. Maybe I did. But, oh, you saw it in my electronic newsletter.
Yeah, probably.
Wow. See, because you're a 2%er, you read my newsletter. Everybody that read my newsletter, only 30% of parents open it. And usually the average time looking at it is 1 second.
No, I look.
But that's what you saw. There's a meeting with class of 2022 tomorrow.
Okay.
I have another 2023 meeting coming up a little later in the month of April, I believe. Christina, you can look for me and I can tell her when it is.
Yes,
But watch your
I can
email.
put
I'll
that.
invite you to it. And that's the real answer for Gloria. So we have two types of meetings. If you get your unofficial transcript and the test scores, any PSAT scores, Sister Gloria, we can sit down with your youth and come up with a college list that has some good affordable options. That's really
Okay.
the answer to your question. We also have meetings for the group. We do those periodically. This time of year, we're doing 1 a month for class of 2023. Then they'll go faster to be 1.5 a month during the college season. So we'll make a proposal how we can help in there too, so your daughter can get the support she needs if she's not, you think she needs more than her school. Okay?
Yes.
I hope I answered that. It feels like I did.
Yes, you did.
These questions are good. Good gracious. I like it though. I'm still, let me, Sister Kimberly asked a good question. I didn't really answer it. I gave a political answer. She probably noticed, like a politician. But the real answer is, I have a list. If you get my video on what do you do about expensive private colleges, but I'll give you a preview of it right now. There's certain schools I love for career development, affordability, and I have all levels of cost. I'll start at the top and move down. I really, got to give a disclaimer. I'm an alumni admission person from GW and I work with them a lot. But George Washington again reminded me in some of their offers they gave today that they're one of the best selective private colleges for money. They don't seem to care if you make up to $200,000, $150,000 a year. There's a chance to get some really nice merit awards because you're going to name drop. You're going to be on the list of being in my program. All right, so I want to make sure I get that out there. I think there's certain other schools that are going to be good. If the GPA and SAT scores are high, you can get a good deal. But I've seen sometimes you have good SAT scores, GPA, as Sister Kimberly saying, you don't get what you think. But Howard actually gives a nice set of merit awards that don't care what you make. I like Howard for that. There are 2 schools in DC. Sorry about that, but that's the way it works. There's other sleeper schools too. I like Lehigh, the way they do financial aid, Lehigh. I like Trinity College in Connecticut, the way they do financial aid. It's crazy how they do it. I like Marymount, Virginia. Now coming back west, I have a lot of schools I like, some that your daughter won't even consider, so I won't bring them up because I know the kind of schools you're looking at.
Not necessarily, totally different
You guys
child.
should tell her everything.
I think she's a totally different kid.
Oh, okay, well, I'll be open. Seattle Pacific, I love me some Seattle Pacific. Now, as a father, I'm a little worried of Seattle right now. It's not the safest place right now. But now they decided the other day they need to get back those police they got rid of. So we'll see how that works out in Seattle. But they're a great affordability school. Ooh, they're good.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good. State public universities in the West. I like me some Boise State. I like me some Nevada, Reno. I don't like the schools they like. Students love Oregon, Oregon State, Arizona State. Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. I like those schools. I don't like UNLV, but I like Nevada, Reno for money, for cost.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get a selective CSU, you hit a gold mine that your student will like. You hit a gold mine. Hits you some San Luis Obispo. Hit you some San Diego State, Long Beach. I don't know the grade, so I don't know. Sonoma State.
Yeah, Sonoma State was at the Black College Expo.
Of course they were. I'm not shocked.
We were Milan like that.
Not surprised.
Yeah, and then but the concern is that room and board.
Well, for where?
Just in general.
Well, for CSUs, you're going to get away for $22,000 or less.
Mm-hmm.
which is way lower than 80,000 and 60,000.
Yeah,
If you look at just the cost.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you my video too. I have a good video on that. But I've done a lot of good short videos for parents to really help parents with this. So there are a lot of good affordable options, but a lot of times students don't want to look at those, and that's how you get in the higher cost. But you know me, I'm a fan of vitamin N. Y'all know what
What is-
vitamin N is?
No.
You do. It's vitamin no. Like my father used to say, who's robbing this train, me or you? Meaning who's paying for it. So I don't know. You can bribe your kids with cars, guys. Cars and money, you can bribe them. Get them to take a lower cost school. So those are all my real answers. Now I feel like I answered Sister Kimberly. I didn't just give her, some brush off like I was going to do.
No, I already planted that seed about the car.
All right,
I
good.
already did.
All right, and if there's no other questions, Sister Nichelle, I definitely think she should take it. I thought about it again just now. She should definitely take the prep, and I'll get her ready. We'll have her ready. We'll have her scores together. She'll have 2 sets of scores. She'll be fine.
Okay.
It's your daughter. I know a little about her.
Okay. And you mentioned that, so you mentioned something about for the college readiness, having the PSAT scores and their unofficial transcript.
As if they have a PSAT.
She does actually.
So that counselor you need.
We don't
School counselor.
have a counselor currently.
But they should have those scores that were sent to the school.
Well, Michaela got hers off her college board.
Oh, there you go. So I need those scores
Okay.
in the meeting that we're going to have. I hope we have it soon. Now,
Okay.
the 3rd and the 4th parents, I will be on travel to Boise State, but I'm doing a not recurring. I'm doing an asynchronous video that complements the lesson I gave Saturday. It'll be about 20 minutes, be rather humorous. I think your student will want to log on and get it. I'll send it to them. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while. It cracks me up. I'll get it to them. Because I really want them to be in the right frame of mind and take this test. Prince Review said I was crazy when I showed it to him. They didn't tell me not to do this, said I was crazy. So, Sister Gloria.
Are your videos posted on your website or you have to send them?
Absolutely, I'll show you. Yes, the answer to that is yes, and I'm going to show you in a way you'll never forget it right now.
Okay.
I promise. I'm going to show you, okay?
Okay.
I'm stalling right now, actually. Okay, I've got it. Okay. Actually, guess what? I have it right here because this was on YouTube Live. So what I got to do, hold on, y'all, is I've got to, I know what I got to do. Okay, I know what I got to do. Stand by.